Unfortunate.
Oh, wow. Anthony, it's good to not hear you. Great to see you.
This is actually the best way to experience Anthony.
It is, actually.
You can see him, you just can't hear him.
So hopefully while Anthony is getting his... All right, Anthony, you can talk now. Well, he's
I can talk.
Yeah.
This happens every single week, right? So last week this happened, and they're like, "Oh, I gotta click something." It'll happen again this week. It won't be the same until it happens next week, basically. Right. So we'll just shoot for the best of 3 and see what happens.
Well, hopefully you'll be here with us next week, but that would be awesome.
Man. I hope not.
So why don't we address some house cleaning? We had a huge sale. There was all this stuff going on. Let's talk about that first.
So first off, I want to say thank you to everybody that's bought stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
it wouldn't be possible without you.
Holy cow. You guys, that was insane.
Ham.
That has been a great sale. I really appreciate everybody that's put in the orders. I hope you guys enjoy some of the free gifts for those of you that bought over $125. We really tried to, we'll just say this, Dane, Anthony, Tim, not Tim, but Jimmy, or not Jimmy, Nate, Thomas, all those guys, John, everybody over there in the
of course, you got to shout
building.
Out.
They all really worked really hard. Yeah. Well, not them. The gang that put this sale together. It's what people don't seem to understand is it's actually quite hard to figure out what do we want to put on sale.
Also
what do we want to make as a giveaway item? What do we want to do? Because we can't just do the same thing every day. Or every month or whatever.
Well, people get tired. People, especially our online audience, they're the most plugged in. They notice when something is the same as it was last time.
Right.
You got to make sure not everybody is quite that tuned in all the time, but you don't want to get lazy about it.
Right.
You gotta stay on the ball and keep trying to offer something new or at least different experientially.
Yep. Yeah. And that's what we kind of hoped we did was be able to provide a fun sale, a sale that had some really great items on there.
Yeah.
And some good pricing, especially with the release of the some of the clearance items as well as some of the Black Friday deals.
Based on the
tab
feedback,
on the website.
I would say that succeeded.
Yeah.
People figured that out pretty quick.
Yeah.
So, Anthony, I know you're always got your gears turning. What did you think?
So I thought it was pretty good, man. I thought that I think that we had some pretty good deals. What really just, man, I don't know if I can say this, right? Sorry if my hair is all sticking up funny on my hat here, but this is what upsets me deep down, right? It's like a very deep upsettingness that I just feel like I have to talk about.
Oh, these are
right?
my favorite. Go off.
People. So I've been kind of watching the feedback, on our Facebook group. We have the Rag Company podcast discussion group. We have our page group. We have everything like that. And my favorite is seeing the comments that people are like, "Dang, I was just starting to like the Wowos brand, or I just started trying the Wowos brand, and you guys have discontinued it." And yada, yada, yada. And I'm thinking, he gave you a year. I mean, it's been a year, guys, and you now just tried it the second that it was on clearance, right? And I'm like, it's been great. It has been a great brand, right?
Yeah.
You could have tried it a year ago, but that was the funny thing is I remember, man, last year, it was when we launched at that particular time.
Right.
I would say that it was a little underwhelming, right? I mean, it was, granted, we're in the middle of winter time and we're launching a chemical brand.
Sure.
So we kind of set that expectation for ourselves. We understood that. But I think the most frustrating thing is that there was a lot of these people, a lot of these same people that I see that initially hated on the brand that said, "Oh, it looks like another yada, yada, yada brand. It looks like a consumer brand. It looks like this kind of brand. It looks like, oh, these bottles look the same as whatever bottles, right?" And didn't ever give it a shot, right? If anything, they just downplayed it. And then now, literally 11 months later, I see those same people saying, "Wow, dang, man, that product was actually really good. I just got around to trying it." And I'm like, I am going.
You're about to face palm so hard that it comes out the back of your head.
I'm going to pull my hair out, man. I can't deal with this. I can't deal with this anymore. And so, Anyway, I just think it's funny that a lot of these people, especially with the Woes brand specifically, are now like realizing, hey, these products were good after all of this time, but they didn't just choose to buy it until now. And then they have to complain again of, well, now that they're good, you've discontinued it. And I'm like, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you.
No.
Yeah.
Not really. I'm not going to actually kill you, but you know what I'm saying.
Well, and the point is, like, it's not discontinued. We're just not going to be carrying it.
Right. They can
It's discontinued from us here at the Rag Company.
Yeah.
We're no longer carrying it.
Yeah. Well, like,
And so-
you know, you can pick up, for those of you listening and are falling in love with Wowos finally, you guys can head over to wowos.co.uk. You can pick it up there. You can pick it up from the Rag Company EU.
Yeah.
Rag Company
They're
Europe
going to continue to carry it because
they've got
it's
the full
right in the
line.
neighborhood.
They've got all of them.
Yeah, stuff
you
that
can
we didn't even
Yeah.
carry.
So if you want, you can try and buy from them.
Yeah.
And Clean and Shiny UK .co.uk still has plenty of product and is good with what they have.
Yep.
So, you know, it's just it was frustrating because of all of you that are. I felt that same way,
It's
Anthony,
so
when I saw people
predictable.
posting stuff.
We get
that
every time we do this, we're always like, watch what's going to happen.
Yeah,
we know exactly.
We got
how
rid
this
of
is
the
gonna go.
avalanche. We got rid of the avalanche towel because it didn't sell.
Yeah.
Right. So we got rid of that towel. And the first thing that happened when that last towel got sold, we got an order in. We got maybe 20 orders in for those towels. People going, don't you guys have? I tried to buy avalanches.
The most classic
like
example
7
I
years
can
ago.
think of this sort of thing
5 years
is
ago.
when I
Yeah.
see these comments. Some people it's in jest. It kind of led eventually to the Subaru group getting a bunch of blankets. But these people are always like, I want a bath towel. I want a beach towel.
Right.
I want a... And I go... You know, we sold those for like a decade and no one bought them, right?
Right. Well, and it's just,
I mean, there was a handful. It was so dire near the end of people not buying these amazing towels just because the cotton one was cheaper when looking at bath towels. Because bath towel customers are different than detailing customers. They're not generally going to be that kind of like, you know, towel elitist like some people can be. I get how that is. But they look and they just go, that towel's cheaper, I'm just getting that. Whereas these were essentially Eagle Edgeless as bath towels in nice sage green and you know these appealing colors that are like cool in a household. They look like they fit right in. And we sold them for years. But it got so dire at the end. You know who bought up the entire last batch of like 500 of those at the end? Was a dog wash, because they were the people who actually wanted to cater to the canines in such a, you know,
Very
just
nice.
luxurious way. Get those towels to
Luxuriant
them. Those
dog
dogs
towels.
are incredibly happy, I'm sure. But a lot of people missed out, and you're asking years far too late. And the fact of the matter is, it's just there has to be a business case when you offer this
and for
stuff.
those of you guys wondering that are currently on the live stream right now, you can see Hans Klosen talking about how much he was there at the TRC EU Wowos launch in Germany. And Chantal is Patrick's wife. And she's right below saying hello. And Patrick is the owner of TRC Europe. So they're there hanging out. So you've got two European fans of Wowos and with in the group, like hanging out with us. So,
but they don't have to worry because they still have access.
Man, they don't.
So.
They've got all the Wowos.
they got that pipeline.
So I found a bottle of Awesome Foam.
Oh.
And I took it home and used it. And I forgot how awesome it is.
Oh, go figure.
Remember, it was going to be one of our late launches. It's going to be great to have that. So
it was actually going to be a late launch, but
COVID put the brakes on a lot.
I guess
so
let me touch back on that. So basically, what I'm trying to say here is that, you know, I hope that people, you know, at least the people that are coming back 11 months later and realizing that we were actually serious about what we were trying to say.
Yeah.
You know, we weren't just blowing smoke up your butt, but like this is a real thing. You know, maybe take us, you know, maybe understand where we're coming from. And here's the other thing I understand, right? Whenever we launch a new product, I'm not expecting people to go out and just buy that product. That's not very realistic, right? And why would you do that? Because at that point you're going to have more product than what we even sell, right? And I understand that. It's more of the people that I see the comments of like, oh, hey, I've been actually looking to get myself a new APC, or I've been in the market to do this. Maybe I'll give this a shot. But then they either downplay it or they like nag the product or whatever it may be. And then 11 months later they try it and then they love it. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that if we're carrying it, then obviously we believe in it and we think that it's it's a great option. It's something that we would use in our own houses or in our own shops.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
just to kind of understand that. So I guess in the hype world of things, right, people say that when you sleep on something, you don't touch it or you don't use it or whatever it is, and time goes by and then you miss out, right? Then you have FOMO from that. So I'm saying maybe don't sleep on like the Kosh Chemi line, or don't sleep on like the G Technic line, or whatever it is. If those are things that you're hesitating on, we've already signed off and said that these products are fantastic, and you can trust us on this. And I mean, if you don't like them or have any issues with them, reach out to us, tell us why. I mean, we guarantee you it's going to be, there's not much to nitpick about, basically, is what I'm trying to say.
And that's just it. You're absolutely right. And that is something, obviously, lots of companies try and sell people on stuff this way. They try and like really push we would only carry this if we actually liked it kind of thing. We're serious, though.
Yeah.
Like, as three guys who test independently, I don't come from a detailing background, but I just like the weekend kind of thing, driveway thing. You're obviously from a detail shop, professional atmosphere. Anthony comes at it from like a hardcore enthusiast. There's a lot of different perspectives here to really get a well-rounded view of a product. And the fact of the matter is, if you two don't sign off on it, might say it doesn't matter as much. If you two don't sign off on it, the fact of the matter is it doesn't wind up in our lineup. Like it has to be able to pass that threshold. If it doesn't, that's it. So if you watch us, if you like what Levi's about, if you like what Anthony's about, then it's in their best interest not to steer you wrong. Yeah. So that's what I really want to come back to is if you guys sign off on it, there's a reason. We're not just going to pick up every product under the sun and go, yeah, that's good because we can sell it. No, there has to be more than that behind it.
And
I think some people are skeptical.
Well,
as
we'll
a
just
sport,
put it this way.
I swear.
Like Anthony said, don't sleep on stuff next time.
Yeah.
The Drago was a towel that wasn't very popular. And then towards the end, when it started to sell out, it became very popular. People were trying their hardest to get their hands on it. So, and then it was gone for a while until we brought the new version back.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, Levi, another towel, the freaking gauntlet and the liquidator, right?
Yeah,
How many people slept on every single version of one of those, right?
Yeah.
And now people are actually mad. I have hate messages coming in on Instagram saying that we need to get our stuff together because the liquidator and the gauntlet's been out of stock. I'm like, guys, it was in stock, like fully in stock for like 5, 6, 7 months, and nobody. And then now that we've run out of stock, I don't know.
We're not blaming you if you're late to the game.
I'm in a ranting mood lately. I don't know what it is.
We kind of are blaming you if you're late to the
Tuesday.
game too. Like we try, we push, we put the stuff out there. If you're not subscribed to our channels, if you're not following our pages, we do everything we can to notify people when this stuff is available in stock, when it's new, all that. But if you're not connected on those fronts, then you're just relying on word of mouth from others. You are going to be late to the game.
Despacho says he does not regret buying any Wowos.
There you go.
I think he says he regrets not buying Wowos.
He goes, I regret not buying any Wowos. Yeah. So there's still a ton of clean wheels available. You guys can pick up Clean Wheels, which is a phenomenal wheel cleaner. Seriously, guys, that's a great product. Dane, I saw we're out of glass cleaner.
Glass cleaner. That
was glass cleaner.
I like glass cleaner actually
I know.
a lot.
I thought about it this morning when I backed out of my driveway. I was like, dang it, I should have bought a couple bottles.
Because it was tint safe and all that.
It was
nice
amazing. Yeah. It's a really good window cleaner.
Now we can't talk about it, though, because you can't get it. Otherwise, we'll just get mad if we keep talking about it.
So, as always, you guys can reach out to the Rag Company Europe. You can reach out to wowos.co.uk.
You can still get it there.
And you can get it from cleanandshiny.co.uk.
Absolutely.
So, like I said, have fun with it. We're sorry, but it is what it is. And let's move forward.
Yes. So moving forward, just touching on a little...
finishing the house cleaning.
Right. So housekeeping. I was going to point out that we have Q&A Thursday like normal this week, so you don't have to worry. It's going to be there. Just going to throw that as a heads up kind of near the top of the show so people are aware. We will be doing it this week. Go ahead.
I wanted to just tell everybody, please tell, even if it's something like just to send a little email or message to info@theragcompany.com.
Or support at
theragcompany.com. Just send a little thank you if you guys did order. We have a really, really, really great team that has been busting their butts. And I mean, my mom went and bought a brand new pair of shoes because her feet hurt from walking and packing orders because she's been picking. So she's been picking the orders. So she gets the order sheet and she's been running up and down the aisles, pulling items and putting them on her cart and then taking them over to the table and then having somebody else pack them. But she's been kind of calling and giving updates because we are all still quarantined from this building. We can't go in the other building.
That building.
So she's been kind of calling me and giving me updates as to how her day has been. And so I will just say we've got a really, really great team. And if you guys could reach out and just send a little thing saying, hey, thank you guys for all your hard work, or thanks for packing my order, or thanks for getting that. We'll just say they are short-staffed.
Yeah.
They are all working to the bone, and they are all doing their very best to get your orders out in a timely manner, and they have been kicking butt. I have been so amazed to hear her tell me these things every night. So just wanted to put that out there. If you can, just send a little bit of thanks to the team, the packing team. And so just say, hey, packing team, great job. Really appreciate it. Keep up the good work. Something simple like that.
Honestly, like the olden days, if it weren't for the whole situation outdoors,
right,
we'd be over there packing with them.
Normally,
and
Black Fridays,
Absolutely.
we're over there helping. We're over there helping restock. My mom said one of the hardest things was the restock of products. They would burn through a case.
Hey, we
and
got
there
a bunch of
wouldn't be
new stuff,
case.
and it's gone.
Yeah, and she'd have to stop, pull a fresh case forward, cut the box open, pull the product. She said that's been the hardest thing for them is just getting that restock going. So,
well, one thing that we used to do back in the day, Levi, when I worked at bodybuilding.com, right? When we would have a major sale and we were working customer service, right? We would get maybe some EDM music going in the background, and then we would get an entire pitcher and fill it with pre-workout, right? So you could just be going and kind of filling pre-workout up and then taking a couple hits and then bump into some music. And basically, well, you answer phone calls, so that would be like one thing. But
that was weird.
Anyway, so back in
music
orders,
and phone calls jacked on pre-workout.
Woo!
It really set the vibe, right? So we've all been to Dutch Bros, right? This is kind of what that was about, except it was just like super bro-y, and there's a bunch of dudes with shirts off. Yeah. That's pretty much what that was all about. And I'm not saying we have
to see the difference between that job and this one.
Yeah,
well, it's very similar, Dane. So
you never know.
I'm saying we get Levi's mom jacked up on pre-workout. We get all of the other older people here within the rag company. Hopefully nobody has a heart attack. But
that's
I think
a terrible
idea. Could go up, right? Let's see what happens.
Yeah,
Let's get excited. I'm kidding. There was a product. There was a product from years ago. It was called Craze. It was a pre-workout, right? It was basically pure amphetamines, and but we didn't know that at the time, right? So everybody was just taking this pre-workout freely, thinking like, "Oh, dude, this got low caffeine. It's totally fine." Well, I mean, for all intents and purposes, it was pretty much just Adderall, right? And so everybody was just taking Adderall like an unknown form of it, right? Basically. You can sell an amphetamine if you just basically eliminate one molecule from creating like the full thing. So they basically eliminated the water aspect of that. So the second you mixed water with this powder, it now became a full amphetamine. So you start taking this and everybody's like, I feel so good all the time. I'm so happy and so positive. Production went through the roof. It was insane, right?
Sure.
Needless to say, though, that stuff got pulled by the FDA. We haven't seen it since. I'm just a piece of supplement advice out there for people. Be careful. Know what you're putting in your body.
Yeah.
Well.
So, what did you guys do this weekend?
Oh man, Anthony, let's start with you, Mr. Remote.
Yeah. So I
have a good Thanksgiving.
Time off.
How was that?
I had a good Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving was pretty. I mean, honestly, most of my family, we did something kind of distant, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
My mom didn't really want to do a full thing at our house because my grandma and everybody else, and she didn't want my grandma to feel like left out. So my mom pretty much just cooked food and then just delivered it. So everybody got food delivered, and that was fine. I mean, I was okay with it. Wasn't quite the same though, because I mean, it's weird eating Thanksgiving food when you're not with a bunch of family, right? You're just eating.
Yeah, sure.
an obscene amount of food by yourself, that's just feels strange, right? So that's where I was like, okay, kind of, is what it was. And then Friday was just a lot of monitoring kind of what's going on around the sale, making sure everything's going smoothly here at the rag company. And so far so good, but I think most people were trying to jump on Black Friday stuff. I mean, I didn't really buy anything crazy. I bought some okay, so this is what I do. And you guys know I already do this, but I buy replacement OEM parts for my Evo for areas that I feel like could be replaced. Right.
They don't need replacing right now, but you think at some point in the future, this is going to be valuable to have.
Well, it's things that I'm like, dude, because they're discontinuing parts all the time.
I do the same thing, but I do it with the Elantra at the junkyard across the street. So I got a bunch of rubber grommets and things like that. There's a ton of them over there. So
it's literally the same thing.
I know exactly what you like. So
I pretty much just I run through a list, a website, and think, okay, what parts are going to be discontinued? What can I not get anymore? And then I see, okay, well, I have one of these pieces in my car that's got a big scratch in it that's bothered me for years. I'm just going to replace that. So I bought some new things. I guess some new, stuff I already have, but just new things with that. And I thought that was kind of cool. And then I think on Saturday, I pretty much just spent some time, I think just doing video stuff. I was doing some extra video stuff. And then I was also doing, I also downloaded some video games for my Switch. So I've explained this before in all previous years of this podcast. When it comes to wintertime, that's pretty much the only time I play video games. I don't really play a whole lot unless it's really cold out or there's no reason to be outside. Well, now we're getting to that weird point of the year where you don't want to be outside. So, download some more Switch games. I've been playing so Dane, Liz, you referred me to this game, and I downloaded it, and I regret it completely. It's this game called Hades for Switch, and it is hands down probably one of the most addicting games I've ever played. I think I'm in it 9 or 10 hours, and I've only had it since Saturday night.
Yeah, you haven't had it that long.
It's dude, it's a crazy game. It's a super fun game. So, nice. But no, just pretty much did that. And Sunday was just house cleaning. The weather here, it's wet. It's been so cold. We're not really. It's cold. It's foggy.
It was icy fog this morning. Yeah. So
what I don't really know what more there is to do. I pretty much finished all the exterior maintenance on the house. My Christmas lights are up. I'm hoping it's at that point, that time of the year where you just ride out everything until spring. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right? Sprinklers are blown out. Everything's done.
You're just in a holding pattern now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. And that's kind of the beauty of living in Idaho, right? Is pretty much you plan on everything dying off by the beginning of December and then not coming back until the end of March?
Just about, yeah.
Just about, right?
Yeah.
And so...
Yeah. That's when detailing season starts.
Yeah, that's when detailing season
unless
starts.
Unless you're in Florida or Arizona or Southern California or something then it's all year.
Never ends, man. Yeah, so, but no, overall though, that was pretty much it, man. My weekend was not that crazy, but I people asking, how much time off. So I'm taking some time off for some extra video stuff that I'm taking care of. I figure it's the one time a year where I can get some extra stuff done for a friend.
Definitely.
That's it.
Definitely not the same guy. Okay. Yeah.
I don't know.
Gotcha.
Jane,
Definitely not the same guy.
I think you need to put up one of G. Davis's comments.
Yeah, there's been a few
some
real
really
golden
winners
ones here
on there, but there's one right there that I'm just enjoying.
I was enjoying the earlier ones. I just didn't think I could share them on screen.
Some of those, you better be in the live chat to see those.
Yeah,
but this is a great
if
one.
you're
You
in the
haven't had
chat, you're getting
Thanksgiving
the full
yams,
experience.
so you've had the ones Anthony dips in creatine.
And boy howdy.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So
anything
lifestyle,
else?
Man.
Yeah. Anything else?
No, that's it, man.
Right.
I wish there was something more exciting to talk about. I'm looking around thinking what else happened, and that's pretty much it.
Oh man.
Nice.
Well, tame weekend.
So I'll pass it over to Dane. Dane,
me?
what do you do?
Okay,
Yes,
so
Dane.
I gave Nick in the producer room a few pictures because I did a few things this weekend. It being Black Friday and Cyber Monday and all that, I got on a little furniture kick and I decided to go check out this very cool store. They have a Scandinavian, not IKEA, but a Scandinavian furniture store that's a little higher end than that.
Very nice.
And obviously, this stuff appeals to me on a base level, but Liz really liked that couch because it's kind of funky. It goes at a corner, stuff like that. There's just like a variety of things I was looking around and found interesting. Tables and such. I get it. Like some people, they're like, oh, the eyes rolling into the back of their head. They could care less. But for me, my house is, even at this late age of 31, I find that my house is primarily comprised of hand-me-down furniture that came from either family members or was like borderline college dorm stuff. Like, I'm an adult.
Yeah.
I need to put some adult furniture, like some actual cohesion into some rooms that actually make sense. So this winter, I'm
hiring an interior designer.
Yeah, well, I'm being my interior designer because that's cheaper. But
All right.
this will be dangerous.
What
but
wall
at the same
color
time,
are you planning on?
So
painting?
it's actually won't be a color; it'll be a texture. So I'm going for wood paneling and some other stuff, taking a little inspiration from here.
Okay.
But mixing
nice.
things up a little bit. So there will be some fun coming to my living room because somehow I've tricked my brain into thinking this will be easier than working on the garage has been. Because in the garage it just seems like a never-ending project of stuff. I have to keep moving. But in this case, I actually set it up so I've got this arrangement. I've got a 75-inch TV on the wall that's basically occupies most of the wall, but it would look cool to have like some paneling behind that, maybe do a little backlighting on the TV. Have the couch I have, a sectional right now, handed down from my parents. Incredibly comfy sofa, beautiful. Was once probably very expensive red leather sofa, but sectional. But now, it's
Dane, we
it's
helped
showing,
move that sofa.
we have.
It's showing
We
its
moved
age.
it out of your parents' house and into the garage.
Work into that sofa.
Anthony
Yes.
and I's blood's on that sofa.
So it's yikes.
It is.
I wouldn't be able to tell. It's red. So basically, looking at the way it's situated, it is probably 25% too big for the room it's in. Fact of the matter is, my living room is large-ish, considering the house isn't that big, but that sectional just takes up way too much real estate in there.
Yeah.
So I want to switch to a smaller, like, sofa that has maybe seating for three, but maybe one end is like a chaise and the other end is like a recliner or whatever, so you can like change it. Just better for space.
Yeah.
And then I want to throw in just a nice coffee table up front, which my one I have right now is nice, but one leg is rickety. Like, these are all the things you run into. If you're in like your early mid-20s, you probably don't care about this stuff yet. But as you get to a certain point and you're like, okay, I have my own home. I've had my own home in my case for nearly 10 years now.
Yeah.
But the furniture in it has always been kind of a I'll get to that later thing.
Right.
And I dealt with like the windows and the other stuff first, painted around, made it look nice in those ways. But the furniture, man, that's an investment. That can be hard.
And that's
to
something. It's part of
really
a.
get into
It's a
it.
level of adulthood.
Yes. Yeah.
know?
There's a real degree of like, am I doing this? Because for every like nice couch or table I see, there's a little voice in the back of my head that's like that. I know some of you have this voice. The little voice is like, it's cheaper on Craigslist, or you could have bought car parts, but you have to fight
It's a great
that.
voice.
Dane,
And-
I really like that voice, and I really would like you
could do
to
the
keep
rest of
talking
it.
in
Yeah, I
that
was just gonna
voice.
say that.
The problem is, I've listened to that voice for so long, I'm finally going, okay, Dane, you got to have a place that looks like an adult lives here now. And it can't just look like a mishmash of every which kind of furniture. Like, some of the stuff I have is very nice, but it does not fit with other stuff in the room. So this is where, I mentioned on the Jaguar there. Yeah, maybe it's a Jag God to my head. And I'm like, I have to be a classier person now because this ain't cutting it. Because imagine, like, if somebody sees you out in your Jag and they follow you home
walk
and
into
then
your
they
flop
break into your
house,
house
and it's a
they
flop
look
house.
inside and they go, this doesn't make sense.
This looks like the interior of the house from Fight Club.
So, it's not that bad, but okay, that might be a bit too hardcore.
Dang,
But
there sure are
the
a lot
point-
of boxes and
That was
newspapers.
such a
What's all
crappy
this
house.
soap?
Stacked up.
What's with all the soap? Okay, so my point remains. I went looking at a lot of furniture, but like other than that, I get that's not the most exciting thing for some people. I just happen to feel like, okay, I'm going to make my living room into like a statement room. It's actually going to be something I'm proud of every time I walk in. There's just a sense of like, you feel happier walking in when something is like nicely put together and stylized and stuff. Anthony appreciates this with his cars. I want to do that for my living room and like some other stuff, and just take it in bite-sized chunks, go around the house fixing things up to be more of a modern aesthetic. Because right now, house was built in 92. It kind of feels like it's still, is living in 92. So little things I want to fix up. Other stuff I did, though, Black Friday sale, I picked up a tonneau cover for my pickup bed on the Taco. So now I have a nice trifold, set up on
Say
there.
that word
So,
again.
A tonneau cover?
Say it again. One more time.
Tonneau cover.
Okay.
Tonneau? Like tonneau.
There you
Okay,
go.
some
Yeah.
people say tonneau, but this is like people who say, I'm going to go wash my hands. No, you don't wash your hands. You wash your hands.
Yeah.
But
it
then you
sounded
get these...
funny to me. That's why I was like, say that word one more time.
I say tonneau. I also say envelope. I don't say envelope.
You do
'cause I
say
know some
envelope.
people, yeah. So
That is interesting.
quirks, man, quirks. Thank you. Nick says that's correct. That is correct. Any rate, I just had some pictures there. I really like the way it works on the truck, and I actually noticed immediately in the same kind of driving I'd been doing before, I got a 2 mpg
What?
bump just from putting the cover on it. So that's
Nice.
pretty awesome in a truck that
Saving
frankly,
gas. I like it.
every little bit counts. Yeah, it's not a big engine truck, but it's still the gas mileage ain't.
What's
nothing
great
to
is
write
when you
home
go buy
about.
all that furniture and you get a tri-fold that up and slide that piece of furniture
Yeah,
in.
so that's the part I wasn't
great.
as excited about. However, I did get a good write-up from the Scandinavian place that says for $90 they'll deliver anywhere within 30 miles.
And you live how many
they'll
miles from that
handle it.
store?
They actually said I count. Like,
Okay,
even though-
good.
Yeah,
Even
so
better.
I'm okay.
Nice.
Anyway, I know it's not the most exciting thing, but there were a few other things I picked up because I'm on kind of a kick where I got some AirPods Pro because the AirPod normal ones, they just hurt my ears. So I thought AirPods Pro, that looks like a nice deal at Costco. Got some of those. And I've got some Dixon flannels coming, including
nice.
the Mercked jacket, which looks super rad.
That's going to be a dope jacket. I'm very jealous of that one, Dane.
Yes.
So-
And then the last thing I got, because I'm crazy and I'm on a bender here, I also got the hood vents, the bonnet vents for the Jag, replacing those with carbon fiber ones because the
nice.
existing ones on there are they're made from fiberglass or something. They're very old looking.
They are
now. They don't-
fiberglass and they've
they don't
started to
match the
dull.
paint at all. They
Yeah.
would need to be repainted in order to match the hood. But the carbon fiber ones I found online were really nice and fit the bill, and they don't look tacky. Like I know that's some people's concerns, like, oh, you put carbon on. But if I'm gonna like do some stuff with it, that's just the first step, and then you kind of progress from there.
Yeah,
But
there you go.
they won't stand out on a black car too much. So
I think it'll look good.
just looks nice. So, that was kind of my little adventure over the weekend. Liz and I are going to go back to the Scandinavian store tonight. She's going to go sit on some of those couches, and we're going to decide if it's right for
Well,
us.
that's important. You know,
Yeah.
you got to sit on those couches. So
That's
when
right.
Carly and I bought the current MOS HQ,
Because stuff can look good, but if it's not comfortable, that's a
right?
non-starter.
So we actually sold all of our furniture with our house.
Ooh.
So the people that bought
sold
our
it
house
furnished
bought
for
our
the
house.
next owners.
Yeah, they bought the furniture. So we were like, we need furniture. So we went and did that. We went to RC Willie and we had to sit on a lot of couches. And Carly and I found a few, loved them, thought these are gorgeous couches.
Yeah.
Let's buy these. This is nice. It's nice to have a nice couch, an adult couch, right?
Yeah.
Flash forward to 2 years later,
Oh.
and my 6-year-old and my 9-year-old have completely destroyed these couches.
Oh, no.
I'm telling you, if you want to, I may have to make a video of these couches now, of all the stuff that's wrong with them, because of my children. Auggie was doing forward flips on it last night. I had to tell him to stop because I thought he was going to fall out the window.
You're more concerned about his well-being than the couch.
At this point,
as
yeah.
a parent, yeah.
I'm really
The
frustrated.
couch is gone. I don't want to lose the kid,
Dude, I'm
too.
so frustrated.
Yeah.
Like, there are stains on this couch that I don't know what they're from.
Oh, that's
And
never
then the
good.
other day, I saw Hadley laying on the couch with her hair still wet from the tub all over the arm. And then she got up and it's like the arm's soaking wet. And I'm like, well, that's where the water stains are coming from. This is awesome. So
It's the same as a dog
just saying,
coming in from outside
enjoy
in the
it.
rain. Just
Enjoy
sitting on your
that
couch.
nice furniture. Feel good about it. Take your time with it.
Man.
Well,
It's
here's
gonna
the
be
deal.
nice.
Dean, I don't know about you, and Levi, I don't know about you, but I've never fought with Katie more in my life than when we were going furniture shopping at RC Willie.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh.
Here's the thing. When I am looking for a couch, right? I am looking for the thing that is going to be easiest to clean and makes the most sense for the living situation, right? So
Correct.
when I look at a couch, I think, okay, I have 2 golden retrievers. Yes, they jump on the couch when I'm not home.
Yep.
I don't know. They are on that couch one way or another, right? And so our previous couch that we had was like a 6 out of 10 in terms of easy to clean. It wasn't the best. It wasn't the worst. It still sucked no matter what. And that was okay. So when looking for this new couch, I told her, I said, hey, specifically, we need to find something to where this hair is simply going to wipe off or it does not stick, because you don't understand how much time I spend cleaning these couches. Like, it's not like a 20-minute job. It can be up to an hour sometimes, depending on how much hair is accumulated and things like that. So when I was shopping with her, talking about this kind of stuff, I say, hey, this material, this material, this material, this material, this is all what we want to look for. And her response every single time was, that's ugly, or I hate the way that looks, or that feels bad, or that's not comfortable, or blah, 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 right? And it was one of those where I'm like, how hard do I want to push to get what I want here? Because this isn't going well so far. And because as much as like I like the cuter, nicer looking couches and things like that, it was more of a matter of, dude, it's the longevity, especially because couches aren't cheap, man. I mean, when you start buying grown-up couches, that crap is another Honda Civic, is what that is, right?
I sat on one because I was like, oh, this is nice, because I hadn't really looked around the store yet. I went and sat down and I was like, well, this isn't IKEA, so I'm sure it's a little more than the stuff there, obviously. This is a little nicer hand-built furniture and stuff, but it's like mid-range. It's not the highest of the high, because that just gets stupid. But I was looking around, I sat on this couch, I was like, oh, this is nice. Oh, that's a nice leather. I don't want another leather couch, though, because dog claws, so I'm looking at a fabric one. But
so keep your
I
dogs
sat
off
on this
there.
and I enjoyed it, and then I look over, and this is just a small, like, little love seat thing.
Yeah.
Pull up the tag, look over, $5,000, and I just went, it's nice, but it's gonna have to wait. Yeah. So I moved on. Well, but actually, there were a couple that I liked where I asked him, I said, okay, what if I like this style of couch, but I wanted a different material? Is that possible, or is that like too bougie or whatever? He's like, no, actually, it would only cost you like $100 extra. In many cases, it's not actually that much,
and
because a lot of these are
wait time.
hand-built. Well, no, he actually said it would be about 5 months if you got one from overseas, or if you had one made by the actual American. No. He's talking about during COVID. They're having turnaround of about 3 to 5 months for the hand-built items.
I imagine so.
But
put that one up there.
Oh no.
Another G. Davis magic hour right there. Use the code Hans First Day Couch for 15% off at Scandinavian Furniture Store.
I'm pretty sure if it's Hans First Day Couch, you're going to have to take off more than 15%. So the point with the couch was I asked because I was concerned about how pets are going to treat the furniture and stuff. Not just my current dog, but
that's why you train your pets to not go on the furniture.
I could do the best, but this one, she's so far gone. She's old now. She just thinks she owns the place. No, I'm not going to change her mind now.
Old dogs can learn new tricks.
Some new tricks. Anyway, all I wanted to know was asking different material on a couch style. So that was a big thing for me, and I realized they could do it. So I was very excited. I like this place a lot. Like, just after having been there, the whole vibe of it.
Did you go over to the Jacksons and get yourself a nice giant drink afterwards?
I'm not you, so I didn't, but I could have. So that would have been an option.
Dane, is it really called a Scandinavian?
Yeah, it's called Scandinavian design.
Nick has a picture of the front of the store. It literally, the biggest word on the whole sign is just Scandinavian.
And it's right next to the Jacksons that has the best bricks.
Is that not like appropriating Scandinavian culture? Is that okay?
I don't think they care.
It's Idaho.
I just figure it's 2020 and people get offended about everything. I'm not Scandinavian, but I'm just saying if I was, this would be a great opportunity for me to get mad at somebody.
I think
So,
just on the
there's
hierarchy
that.
of things to get mad about,
Technically,
that one is way
you are
down
kind
there.
of Scandinavian,
So,
Anthony. You
yeah.
have some Norwegian
But
heritage.
I'm actually Norwegian, so I
Oh,
got
that
that
is
going for
true.
me.
That
But,
is true.
technically-
2%.
Yep, technically all three of us have
Yeah,
some
no.
Scandinavian
Until I
in
get
us.
a DNA test and discover that I'm like all the
What?
things I was never
Dane will-
told I was,
Dane will-
and none of the things I wasn't.
Dane's more Mexican than Levi is what it'll be.
That'll be hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, you're the one who's like talking like I can actually speak Spanish and stuff. I can't.
Yeah,
but
that'll be
yeah,
great. I can
so
also
fun.
speak a bit of Norwegian too. So
Oh well, I can do neither. So awesome. All right, so Levi, what did you do? This
thanks,
weekend?
Dane. Appreciate that. I had a great little Thanksgiving. My family, my mother, and my mother-in-law came over. So had Carly's mom and my mom and the kids, and it was just an easy, simple. They made a turkey. They made a bunch of food. Carly's mom made most of the food. Carly and I helped mix up a couple things, and then basically just ate till we burst. And then I spent the rest of the weekend literally just eating leftovers for every meal, whether it be breakfast, whether I'm having a little bit of French silk pie, or a
bursting
little
at the
bit of
seams of
raspberry
turkey.
pie, or turkey sandwiches, or rolls with turkey and cheese and stuff. So did that,
Do
and
you
then
have a preferred roll combination, Levi, for everybody?
preferred roll combination. I like a good soft roll. And so
But
we
like-
got some of the
Say like a
and what do you
King's
fill
Hawaiian?
it with? Like what? Yeah.
not a Hawaiian. It's too sweet for
Yeah.
what we're trying to do.
Oh.
So what I use
Have
is
you
Miracle
seen-
Whip. So I use Miracle
Oh.
Whip to give me that little tang.
Ooh.
And I slather
Oh.
I cut that roll open. I slather both sides with Miracle Whip, and then I load that up with turkey,
Huh.
Yeah.
and then like a piece of cheese, and then these are my little sandwiches that I eat with leftovers. So I kill out the
whipped cream, cheese, and turkey.
No, Miracle Whip.
Oh,
Salad
Miracle Whip, like,
dressing.
okay, wow. Yeah, for some reason I was thinking Cool Whip. Miracle Whip is different. I
Miracle-
was so confused. That's why my face looked like that, because I was like,
Yeah, I was I was
Okay.
like, wow, I know Dane doesn't like Miracle Whip.
no, he's talking borderline mayo over here. Not quite mayo, but basically mayo.
So I use a little
Yeah.
Miracle Whip for the tanginess of it, and then
I like Cool Whip for the
that.
tanginess
Yeah,
of it.
no. So, but that's what and I just like a soft roll because I don't like them when they're hard.
Right.
I don't like a crispy outside roll. I like a soft, doughy bread roll.
What about like a buttery, flaky roll?
Yeah, I don't mind buttery, flaky rolls too. So I think they're
So
delightful.
did anybody happen to notice the Dane roll eating compilation within his latest food reviews?
I didn't
Tim-
make it that far.
Tim did an amazing job because
No.
he doesn't tell us what he's going to do when he edits these things.
Yeah,
I
I have
just
to
know
watch
what
it
it's like
now.
to experience it, and it was a rough experience for me, but I was positive in the end. But he edits these things,
Mm-hmm.
and I just told him, go wild. Like, whatever ideas come into your head, go
Yeah.
for it. I guess I'll be humiliated or it'll be funny. I just hope people enjoy it. And that's the most I have to look forward to. And hopefully one day I won't be quite so fat on these things.
There you go.
It's
All right.
3 shots back to back of him eating a roll, but like in the same way, and it makes me so happy.
I'm gonna have to watch this when we're done. I have to take a look at it.
It's
but yeah,
so
no.
good.
So I went to Home Depot and was looking at some of the tools
Yeah.
on sale for Black Friday and was very interested in buying some of those. So Ricky Colon posted that he went and picked up the $99 Home Depot mechanic tool set. I was
Yeah.
very tempted to buy that, but I didn't. I ended up buying Torx
It's the
bits.
best.
Nice.
I bought a Torx bit set because I didn't have any of those. I had some small ones. So, but you know, it is what it is. Patrick saying hello and wanting to know when is the opening of the TRC Bistro.
Well, based on our appetites, that's going to be one weird restaurant. Just a weird one.
It will be.
What would we even serve in our bistro? Like, what would be our specialties?
I'm waiting for
Right?
somebody
Like, I
to
think
throw
we'd
in
all
Slim
have a
Jims and
specialty.
Pepsi.
Mine would be
but-
manwiches.
Well,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
you'd
See,
be sloppy
that's
joes.
you
Levi's,
guys.
would,
No.
Levi's
I'd make
would
a
be sloppy
delight.
joes
I'd
all
make
day
a
long.
delightful sloppy Joe.
No.
People go, man, this is great. So I did make sloppy joes for my
Dane-
kids.
Consistency of sloppy
Dane,
joes.
Dane would make like a cheesecake.
Yeah, I would.
Sloppy
Actually.
joes, cheesecake. What else, Anthony?
What a place.
Dude, I don't know. I don't really know what I'm really good at.
Anthony,
cooking. Maybe a
chicken wings.
panini
You
for
would
me.
do some kind of boil.
No, he would do.
Oh,
He
yeah.
would do a nice
Like, yeah.
chicken wing. Is what he would.
He would
farm out
do
a
his like full
chicken wing.
Portuguese thing, and he would like bring out some like
I could do
exotic
some-
dishes that are.
I could do some like octopus or something like that, right? Really change things up. That would be
Oh,
a
Jimmy's
disgusting
breakfast
combination.
burritos would also be
Nick
on
popped
the menu.
in and said Jimmy's breakfast burritos.
Yeah. We all have something to offer here.
Yeah. Patrick saying he wants to be a shareholder. TRC Bistro.
Oh man.
So I went to Home Depot. I looked at some tools. Basically, I worked on doing the rear brakes this weekend for the Suburban.
Right, you were doing that. It looked a
So
little
here's the deal.
challenging.
When we made our intro to TRCMA, we did that coming down that hill multiple times.
Yeah, I don't
Up
think
and
people
down.
realize we had several takes on that video.
We did several
The timing
takes.
was very important. The coordination. We drove our cars hard that
We
day.
did. And I remember pulling over at one point and Anthony going, I smell brakes. And I was like, yep, I think the rear ones are gone.
You're
like,
driving
I knew
a Suburban
it's a
down a
six-
mountain
6,000
around sharp corners.
6,000 pounds,
Not
3
a light
tons.
vehicle. With
And,
the 8.1 liter, no less. So
yeah, with
that's
8.1
Whipping
liter.
that
So-
thing, right? Whipping that thing like it was a Miata.
Yeah. And
Which, if you haven't watched that, you should go watch
So
that. By the way,
I
it's on the
rotated-
Red Company podcast channel.
so I rotated the tires, right? So I had rotated them this
Yeah.
summer. And when I rotated the tires, Les Schwab called and said, hey, just so you know, your back brakes are low. You're going to need to get those replaced.
Yeah.
And I said, all right, cool. So that was in the summer. Then I towed a trailer for a good portion of the summer.
That's right.
You know, did a little
Yeah.
camping with the family and things like that. Pulling a little trailer. So not a lot of weight, but, you know, and green bean and
Enough.
stuff, a little bit.
Enough.
So gave them a bit of a workout, and I knew these guys are at their last moment. Then we shot our mountain run, and I was like, we are low. Then my wife said, I'm going to take the Suburban up to Idaho City with my mother and sister and niece and the kids. And I said, oh, have fun. And I thought in the back of my head, I go, I hope the brakes,
I hope the brakes
Work.
don't fail.
I hope
my
the
whole
back-
family's
the
in
back
there.
brakes are literally hanging on by a
Oh,
thread.
no.
And so I was a little worried about that, a little
Does she know
stressed
that?
about that. So I
She
sent,
just found out,
I
guys.
texted Nick a video of the video I sent to the group on Friday night. So hopefully if he can get that, he can put it up there and show you.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Oh,
so
yeah.
there's your brakes on the Suburban. I don't hear any audio,
They
but
are nasty little
There's
buggers,
audio.
there we go.
but,
There we go.
I think I've achieved the entire passenger side.
Your hair is
Getting ready to
amazing.
move on to
Thank you.
the
was
driver's
evening.
side rear. Now, that's what's left of one of the inner brake pad. That's the material. It's almost completely smooth.
Woof.
This is a new rear pad.
How much material's on that
Wow,
thing?
look at that meat.
Pretty hefty. It's
Wow.
quite possibly the most amount of material I've ever seen.
These are
But
dual
these are
piston
rear dual
calipers,
piston
and they're
calipers.
big.
It's a high
Yeah.
performance machine.
For a rear dual piston, it's a
Nothing.
nice
Beefy
brake.
boy, it needs
These
it.
are
Yeah.
ceramic. That's the kind of man I am. That's the kind of money I could
Well, yeah.
spend when I'm over at O'Reilly's and I only buy brake pads and I don't get new rotors.
They're
Only
$47 for that pair of brake pads. Tell you what. So yeah, no. Needless to say,
Dang.
it was. So I only replaced the pads because the rotors were in good shape.
I was saying, do you have a picture handy of the situation on the rust corrosion
No,
area?
well I
Oh,
do,
there-
but
there
yeah.
we go.
So
Okay.
a little. I guess that was a bit of it. So that hub was actually very flaky. I had to hit it with a hammer a couple times to break some of the rust
Yeah.
off there, off just the hub.
You need some of Anthony's nut busting
so-
torque.
So your dad used to dunk the back end of that Suburban in the lake all the time when he'd pick
Yep.
up when
Well,
he
you
towed
take
the boat.
out and
Yeah, because he used to tow a boat with this thing. So
This is what happens.
Yeah, the back axle was had a little bit of scale on it. Not bad, not really all that bad of rust, but I cleaned everything up, put some rust treater on it, and took care of that. But
Nice.
that was kind of my
What
big
exactly
project.
were you trying to remove?
I just
What am I
kinda
looking
cleaned
at
up
that you
the-
were trying to zip off?
No, I wasn't taking anything off. So what I was trying to zip was I was going to take the
Oh.
whole. So I reached out to Anthony and said I need some of his torque, his nut busting
My
torque
nut busting.
solution. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I needed that because I thought I'm going to try and remove the whole caliper brace and remove it off and remove the pads from the caliper.
Yeah.
I didn't have enough torque to break that off. So I went and got some Torx bits and saw a thing where you could just remove the caliper itself, just swing it up, pop out the pads, put the new pads in, slide it back down.
Huh.
So I thought, I'm going to do that instead.
Okay.
So that's what I did.
Yeah.
So I just popped those out with the Torx bits, got it done. It was much easier,
Sure.
especially after trying to break, a nut loose and get all that. It was very difficult by hand. So yeah, so I did that. I did try and use a little PB blaster, Umberto, in case you're wondering. It was a lot of work. I got one out of the 4. And then I put that one back in and was like, screw this. I'm just going to pull the caliper pads in.
I'm done.
Yeah, I'll just get the pads from the caliper straight and do it. And so that's what I use the T55 Torx bit for. But got that done. And then I also was able to put some gear oil in the rear end. It was just a touch low. So I was able to fill that back up as well. And then check the transfer case as well. Check the fluid in the transfer case.
In that video, you thought that was
full.
supercharger wine. That was your case screaming at you.
No, that was in for low.
That was for low, right?
So,
okay.
But I thought, better check. Now, as soon as I pulled the top bolt, fluid was coming
good.
out. I was like, oh, this bad boy's full. So tightened it back up. Didn't have an issue. I need to climb under and check the front differential. However, there's a massive skid plate underneath, so I need to pull the skid
removal.
So I have to lift it up, pull the skid plate, then check for fluid and all that. So I'll do that on another day. I don't use the front end
As
all that much. So
coming in the winter though.
If we get it, we'll see. So anyway, it was so that's what I did, and then again we just ate a whole bunch of leftovers. That was literally my weekend, just laying on the couch, eating leftovers, watching TV. We watched some Forged in Fire.
Oh.
So my kids are getting really good. Auggie found a plastic knife that he had, and he came running into the room, and he's like, "Look, a sawback. Here's a pommel. Here's a guard. Here's where the." And I was like, "That's my boy.
Wow.
Like he's learning all the
Why
different."
don't you
gonna
get
say
him
he
like a
came running
plastic
into a room
welder
with
to
a
start?
knife.
Well, they have a.
Get
I
him
found
started on plastic welding.
Well, I found a wood knife kit set that you basically assemble your own wooden pocket knife, and it's just all wood.
Yeah.
So I thought that he might dig something like that. So I'll keep an eye out and look at for something like that, see what I can find. However, I did send a picture also to Nick of Auggie Eating Pie.
Okay. Yeah.
It was one I sent to the group on Thanksgiving. This is Auggie eating what he calls his favorite pie. It's basically a chocolate cream pie that his grandmother made for him.
Man.
That is him.
Is it almost like mousse? Like the
It's like
chocolate,
a
where it's
mousse
super
pudding
soft?
kind of thing, and then whipped cream on top with a graham cracker
That's
crust.
a great picture, by the way.
That boy.
Is that your new phone?
That's
took
my
that?
new
Look how
phone.
long his arms are.
Yeah.
Yeah, wait a second.
I think he's going to be a tall kid. I think so.
is
Like
gonna be a
looking
tall
at
kid.
the length, I think
growth
he's going to be
spurt
pretty
hits.
tall.
He's going to be taller than you.
He's getting there. So, but yeah, that right there, that is his idea of heaven. His grandma literally gave him that quarter of the pie, and he just went to town on it. However, I did slow him down
I was
after
gonna
a bit.
How is monitoring going after that?
Well,
'Cause that must
he's
have
on the
been-
new Control IQ.
Oh.
So he has a little AI system now that handles dosing, but I still have to give it
a
a.
good test
I
of
still
it
have
right
to
there.
bump it and say, "Oh, we've just ingested about this many grams in carbohydrates," so then it can go, "Okay, cool, got
Listen,
it,
computer,
thanks.
I know you're learning, but this is different.
This is different." They should have had a Thanksgiving mode. They have a sleep mode and an activity
Thanksgiving mode,
mode.
you just push a
where
button,
it
it's like,
slows
"Here
itself
comes the
down.
turkey."
Yeah, it should have had a feast mode or something
Yeah.
where it's like, "Oh, we're gonna get it now."
It's like beast mode. You just change one of the letters.
Yeah, exactly. Like beast mode, called feast mode. So yeah, it was. So he loved it. Like I think that was his favorite thing, and they kept saying this was our favorite Thanksgiving.
Oh,
This
man.
was the only Thanksgiving that my kids actually ate food. They don't eat Thanksgiving food normally.
So what do you think changed, other than the fact that 2020 is just a
I think
crazy
because they
year?
had their grandmas there,
Oh, okay.
and we were all sitting around, and like Carly's mom like got a little, like you saw in that picture, there was a little tablecloth, had turkeys on it. She'd gotten little turkey plates and like cutlery and stuff. She tried to make it festive.
Okay.
So I think the kids kind of saw that as like, oh, this is like a festive, and all
Yeah.
the different types of food and stuff. And we let them pick whatever they wanted. So we were just like, it's all right here. Pick your
Yeah.
stuff. And so I think that kind of helps with
Okay.
that. But
Yeah.
I don't know. It was nice though to not have really anything to do. I didn't have a car to detail. I washed the Suburban, got it clean because we're going to shoot some videos with it and stuff this week. But
yeah.
it was nice to be able to just kind of do a little maintenance, on that rig because it was starting to worry me.
Yeah.
And then I took it up the hill with Eric. I went up to Bogus with Eric last week or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that would have been
and
2
Cody
weeks ago.
and and so I went up with Eric Joseph and Cody Hitzman and I came back down. Same thing. I was like, man, I hope these brakes last. Like,
It's been
I
down
can
this
feel,
mountain one too many times.
The fronts are fine. The fronts are in good shape, but those rears, you don't realize how much work they do until they're gone.
On a bigger vehicle, absolutely.
Yeah, and once they're gone, it's like, oh, this thing's having a hard time slowing down.
Yeah.
It's funny. So,
Well,
Umberto's saying, yes, carbs will be controlled with the Dexcom G6 and the insulin. One thing to help him out is lots of water and for him to walk more to burn that sugar with the insulin. Umberto, the best thing about him being 6 years old, he's already
moving.
running and running.
Everywhere.
Like that kid, he got done eating that pie, told me his stomach hurt. I dosed him. Next thing I know, I look outside. He's out there riding his bike, chasing a squirrel or one of his neighborhood
Whereas
friends.
when you get into your late 20s, early 30s,
Dane,
you go, my stomach hurts.
Did you go hop on your bike after you said your stomach hurt?
I literally go find the nearest recliner, sit in that, and then probably don't get up for 4 hours.
Yeah,
So,
right, yeah.
Yeah, there's that. That's why.
No, he was like, he was like, oh, my stomach hurts, and I was like, okay, and I dosed him. I go, you should probably chill out, and he's like, kids are outside, and hopped on his
move.
bike and was going out there, and I was like, all right, dude, you said your stomach hurt, but whatever. So, yeah.
It'll just work itself out. Yeah.
That's good. Mike's saying that I'm styling in my shirt today. Thank you,
man.
Mike. This is a Lafayette.
What do you
by
say? I
Dixon.
go back down. I've seen a
Ooh.
few questions. You want to hit those up?
Yeah, bring out a couple of them
Go through
questions there if you
Yeah.
want to see.
Let's see what we go.
G.
Oh,
Davis says it looks like I was in a Terminator, like calling from a Terminator movie. Like,
oh man. All right, so we got a lot of talk about the Wobo stuff from earlier. People who bought, definitely some stuff from G. Davis.
Well,
about
Dane,
Luke
I
Berge.
do have a talking point if we're looking to fill another 4 minutes of time
Well,
here.
I don't want to fill just with filler. I want it to be worthwhile.
It's
but
not fill-
I
it-
do
I think it is worthwhile.
Rags to Riches talk might be a good
well,
idea.
here's a real quick
That's
one.
not what I was going to talk about
Oh,
at all.
wow.
I'm going to
okay,
pop this
different.
out real quick, Anthony. Colby Garbutt says, any plans to carry more different Koch Chemi products? Yes, Colby.
That's the one I
We
was.
have a
actually
lot
looking
of
for.
them. We have a lot coming. But again, as each series of SDSs are approved for the U.S., then the products are being entered.
Yeah, you'll
into.
notice you're not seeing the full product line anywhere right now, just
Right,
yet
yeah.
in the U.S.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's something that's coming in
And it's
phases.
something they're working on and trying to do, and that's the biggest thing. Is as soon as those SDSs are approved, then they can bring those products into the country.
And what I would also say is, if you want to get more information about that, go to TRCMA from a couple weeks ago. Go to the actual Koch Chemi segment, and they talk all about that, like the process of stuff coming in, all that. It's a really valuable segment.
Yeah.
If you're interested to know more, it's definitely worth watching in case you missed it. So
Yeah,
that was a big
exactly.
trade show online we did. So go check it out.
Dig it. All right,
Yeah.
Anthony, what were you going to
Yeah,
say?
what do you got?
So what I was going to say is that we, over the weekend, we kind of, I wouldn't say silently released this, but I mean, it's been available for a couple days, and that is the Rag Company Ultra Clay Bar.
Yes.
Now, we didn't do like a big release on this or anything major like that, like we did with the clay towel, because the clay towel really is, I mean,
Yeah.
in my opinion, a very next level product, something that is completely one of the best purchases you can make. I mean, it's amazing. And so when we released the Ultra Clay Bar, I gave a little bit of information on why we released a clay bar, because some people might be wondering. So for older customers of the Rag Company or people that have been shopping with us for a couple of years, you'll know that at one time we used to sell the Optimum Clay Bar. And we did sell that, and people liked it. It was okay. It was more of a medium to firm grade clay.
It was
Whereas
yellow, if you need to remember what it looked like.
It was yellow, yeah. And now, and then the clay disappeared, right? They no longer produced the clay, and we didn't have any access to clay anymore. And so we spent the last couple of years looking for it, and we finally were able to source a clay that we liked everything about, right? It wasn't, the color didn't matter to us. It was more about, how does this clay react on delicate paints, right? Is it going to be marring? Is it going to cause like a ton of micro marring? Also, is it sticky? Is it tacky? And then also, what kind of container does it come in, right? Because when it comes to sourcing clay, there's a lot more to it than just like the color and what grade of clay it is. There's multiple factors there, and so we found this clay. Really, 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 really liked it. And we started using it, and we started playing with all sorts of different clay lubricants, everything from paint gloss to the TRCMA clay spray to O&R. And it was the one clay that we felt was the safest on the surface that we had been using over the course of months and months and months. In comparison, taking a sidestep there, people talk about the built hammer clay. We love the built hammer clay.
Yeah, it's like,
seriously.
it seems like everybody loves that.
Literally.
It's literally our favorite clay, right? If you were to ask us what our favorite clay is, it's the built hammer clay. This ultra clay was the closest thing to that built hammer clay that reminded us of that. The only thing is that you don't have that powdery. What do you call it? That powdery wax paper.
It's like a talcum powder on there. It's almost like a baby powder, but like a talc or a cornstarch powder on the clay.
So I feel like that gave the built hammer clay a better experience, right? That reduces the tackiness of it. It actually feels pretty nice. So what we are wanting to do is maybe in the future.
That one's already been used, so that's
we're in the future. We're wanting to maybe think of ways to include some type of wax paper or figure out like a powder recommendation for this particular clay, because as fantastic as our new clay is, once you take it out of the packaging and you store it within the case without any type of paper or anything like that,
wax paper,
and it's cold out, that top lid will stick to that and it'll become really tacky, right? And so I feel like if we can figure out a solution for some wax paper or some powder to be able to remold that clay in a non-tacky way, it'd be perfect. But we haven't created any video content on it yet, but it's, guys, at the end of the day, it's clay. It's a fine grade clay. Warm it up in your hands, warm it up in water, mold it. And I think you're getting 200 grams for like $12.
Yeah.
So in terms of cost of clay, it's a killer deal.
It's a crazy deal. And one thing I love is it's blue, but it's like Anthony said, it's simple. Anthony and I really, 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 really worked hard to try and find a good clay. And we've tested hundreds of different clay bars. And one thing that we ran into through clay testing is there is one company that does provide clay for everybody in the U.S., Automagic, and they originally held the patent on clay for a long time. And so the only clay you could get was overseas that was different from the Automagic, because they kind of had a lock on the U.S. market for clay for the better part of 20, 30 years. I mean, a long time. Yeah. So we, a lot of companies just buy the Automagic clay and have the bar. Or buy the automatic clay, Automagic clay, and throw it. Than that. It's like there are a lot of companies in the U.S. that use it, and there's nothing wrong with the clay. No. It works.
It does work.
It's a great clay.
But the experience could always be better.
Well, we were always big fans of the Optimum Clay Bar. Yeah. That was one of our favorite clays, and they discontinued it. So when Optimum discontinued the Clay Bar, that left a hole for us, going like, ooh, we don't have the clay again that we like so much. So we really started working on trying to find a good replacement. Now, we wanted to, we looked at, can we bring built hammer in? That's a hard thing to do with what we've already done, with G-Technic and with all the different brands that we bring with Color Lock, with, it's not in the books to bring another brand in. Yeah. So then it was like, all right, how do we get a good clay that works well? We look at like the AM Details clay that Alan uses. That's Jim White's favorite clay. How do we replicate something similar to that? Alan was like, I'll sell you guys my clay. You can get it. Da, da, da. We thought, well, let's see what we can do. Let's work at it. It's a problem. Let's try and solve it. Yeah. Worst case scenario, we could have done that. But it really boiled down to, we found this clay. We really liked it. It was already Rag Company Blue, which was exciting for us because we were like, well, that's cool. Now let's see if it works. That was like
a free bonus space on a bingo card.
Yeah.
It didn't factor into the ultimate decision,
but it was
than it was a nice perk.
It was like, oh, They sent us a blue clay.
Like
Well,
I said
that's
earlier,
cool.
the point had to be,
But
it
then
had to work.
Right. And we were laughing because I remember grabbing it, and Anthony and I were molding. I said, watch, we're going to scratch the ever-living snot out of this hood. Because
yeah.
we've had clay bars that we had ordered and used, and they just marred the snot out of it.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
it's just a bad clay.
Well, you guys had about 12 different clays out, and you were trying all kinds of stuff. You tried some totally dry on a surface, some with water, some with other types of...
We did everything with it. We
products.
did
So
torture testing to the greatest
full
capabilities.
mix. Those hoods didn't know what hit them.
But it was fun to see Anthony use this clay bar and go and look at his face, and you get that little smile on your face when something works, but you don't say anything yet. You just look at me and you're like, you got to get in on this. You got to get in on this.
Yeah.
And it is one of those fun things where it's like, what are you doing over there? What do you got? He's like, I don't know, man. You better try this. So that's where we hit with the Ultra Clay Bar, and it was one of those where we were like, I think we found it. I think we got it. I think this is going to work. And so far, I've been really impressed with it.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
absolutely.
and the price is right. The price is really good for what you're getting. And like I said, it's got its own case. It's got awesome packaging designed by Nate. Next Day Nate.
Yeah.
And
as far as like figuring out like a paper solution, if you got a little wax paper at home, you could do that.
yeah, wax paper works.
But,
We're actually,
as a temporary solution.
I think we're
until we
putting
can start
wax
working
paper
on putting
in
it
each case
Yeah.
just so everybody has one.
It's mostly just when
so
it's
once you
cold.
unwrap it, yeah,
It's
because
mostly
right now
just when
this
it's
is
cold.
warm and
This building
it's
is...
it's been sitting in the other in the studio and it's been warm near a
Yeah.
heater, and so this thing isn't gooey, but it's ready to rock. I can pull it out
Yeah.
and use it, no problem. But when it was cold earlier last week, it was a little harder to get out of the you got to just warm it up to malleable it. So.
Yep.
But
Yeah, definitely warm it up. And so, but anyway, so you might be asking though, like, okay, which clay material should I buy? That's purely up to you, right? If you clay a car once a year, buy the clay bar. If you are claying cars as a business, or it's part of your business, or it's something that you're doing on, as a hobby on the weekends, pick up the clay towel. The clay towel is going to save you a tremendous amount of time. It is
you're going to
extremely
get a lot more
fine.
uses out of it.
You're going to get hundreds of uses out of that clay towel, right? The clay bar, realistically, I would say if you were to cut that piece in half, right, that main bar, you cut it in half, what would you say each side would last you? Maybe 3 cars? 3
I'd
cars?
say that. About 2-3 cars. You could probably
About
get
2-3 cars on each side.
Yeah, so you could get about 4 to 5 cars out of a clay bar, out of the whole thing. And that's
Out of
kind
the
of how
whole
we
thing.
use
And-
it at my shop when we'd have clay bars. That's what we do. You cut off a chunk, and then you use it, and then you use it on the surface, and then after you finished a car and it wasn't bad, you put it back in. If it was really bad, you just threw that chunk away.
But that is the thing that comes up is people go, oh, well, you already sell a clay towel. Why carry a clay bar? And the fact of the matter is there's a customer base who just refuses to use anything other than a clay bar. They like the clay bar, and they want something they feel is more aggressive, even though this is still mild. They want something that's going to be more aggressive, they feel, than a towel, because they convince themselves that towels somehow can't be good clay medium. But they can.
Yeah.
They absolutely
and that was one of the big things with a lot of people is, I have to recommend it as a tool.
Yes.
Right? So you have a wrench and you have a screwdriver. That wrench better be adjustable.
Yeah.
Or you're going to find very few uses for,
Or you need
a
more
13
wrenches.
millimeter wrench. You're going to need a lot more wrenches. You're going to need a lot more different screwdrivers because
Yeah.
sometimes you're going to have different slots and different fittings. So you got to have a lot of tools. And one thing that can happen is you could just have the clay towel.
Yeah.
And you could get stuck with a car. Let's say they were painting their house and they oversprayed the ever-living
Yeah.
snot out of their cars, right? Sometimes that clay towel is too fine and it can't bite through and remove all the paint. So that's
Very
when you're
true.
going to have to step up to clay. And so if you're working on a job and all of a sudden you've only got the clay towel and you're like, man, I just can't get through all of this, well, you need to have a clay bar.
So you
know?
use the towel, and then you break out the bar in case of emergency.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's always good to have the bar available to make that next step. Now, this is still fine grade clay.
Yes.
But in terms of, think of the clay towel as ultra fine, and this is a fine. Even though they're both fine grade,
Yeah.
they act very differently. The towel is designed to remove particulates from the surface. This is designed to remove particulates from the surface. The difference is the size of the particulates and
Yeah.
how they remove them.
And
So-
for most every single everyday kind of circumstances, most normal cars, this stuff is going to be more than enough to handle decon on those kinds of vehicles and stuff.
Right.
If you get into the crazy hardcore stuff, then okay, fine. There are stronger clays out there, but that also comes with a liability,
Right,
too.
exactly,
So
yeah.
that's why we don't carry those extremely strong clays because, I mean, you don't want to have some angry person on the phone, this scratched up my car. Well, you know, you went for the strongest product when you probably shouldn't have.
Yeah.
And that's the
exactly.
same with decon chemicals too. I mean, that's a common problem people have is like, I don't want to sit around with this problem, so I'm just going to throw the nastiest thing I can at it, make it go away. Well, sometimes you make the stuff you're trying to fix go away too.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
So.
That's a good topic
Yeah.
there, Dane, and probably a good spot to wrap things up.
I think so. So, guys, thank you so much for watching along with this live podcast. I've been enjoying this. Like last week, this week, it's been fun having a live audience. I'm sorry we don't answer all your questions, but that's what Q&A
we can read
Thursdays
them all, and it's
are
hilarious
for.
when we see
and
it.
yes,
We
we are
can, we
enjoying
can,
them
yes.
as they go by on the screen. We just may not bring them up on the screen.
G.
but-
Davis was spitting fire
yeah, oh
tonight.
yeah, G. Davis was on one today. So that was really great. And I highly encourage you guys to contribute more and share this with, friends. I want to make this more of a habit going
Okay.
forward. If we can make Tuesdays at 10 a.m., whenever possible, if we can make that a live podcast, let's do that. I think that'd be really nice. And obviously in the comments, you guys let us know if you like this kind of format, if you prefer we just kind
Yeah.
of do it without the distraction and just do a straight podcast that way. We're open either way. But yeah, with that said, I just want to point out there's also, because it's a podcast, audio platforms you can find us on, including Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean. There's a lot of different places that you can find us, basically anywhere you get your podcasts at. And if there's somewhere you like to listen to podcasts and you haven't found the Rag Company podcast there, let us know so that way we can actually get onto that platform. We won't be there unless we know we're missing it. So you've got to let us know. But yeah, feel free to reach out to any of our social media and we can take care of that. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching, and we'll catch you at this week's Q&A Thursday, obviously on Thursday at 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. See ya.
Dig it.
Say it.